Well, good morning my YouTube friends, it's Margaret here from M.E.s Orchids, and you'll see I was left a comment here about Dendrobium nobilis and about the roots, and now I don't know whether I'm the right person to actually advise. The simple reason being I've got a few nobile types, but personally I find them, it's the canes, they kind of go all out of shape. Probably that's me. If I show you here, this one here, you see it's got canes here, and I do find them a bit of a struggle, and I shouldn't do really, because they're so easy. Now this one here, I've got no label on it at all, and it's in the tiniest little pot, and I'm trying to save it, but you'll see here that I've got 1, 2 new growths, and can you see down in there, which way do I show you? Oops, that way. Down in there is a new little growth. You'll see it just there, just popping through. And so I found with these nobile types that they require a winter rest, and they require a chill. Now it's like some of the Kinganum types, and I've got a couple on the table. So next winter these are going to go on the bathroom windowsill, which faces north, and so they'll get the chill, and with them being in the bathroom they will also get a rest. Now this one, you see, is giving me a bud there, flower bud, and I've just noticed here we've got another one. But the trouble with nobile types is if you overwater them, these buds become cakeys. So you've got to be so careful you don't overwater. And you see these new growths here. Well, if I got any water on these new growths, then these would just shrivel back. It'd kill them. So you can't get water, and especially that new emerging one down there. But look, can you see what I've got? What size pot is this? I have no idea what size pot this is. Probably 1 inch, is it? 1 inch? I've got sphagnum moss at the bottom. I've got a piece of growstone, and I've got lava rock. Now the sphagnum moss is at the bottom because I need that to be there for any emerging roots. So at least when these start to produce roots, I've just noticed another tiny little growth, but you won't see it. So that's 2 new growths I've got. So when these start to produce roots, the roots go down into that sphagnum moss. So that's why I've got it in this little pot here. That's just a deli container, just so it doesn't keep falling over. I pull it out with my fingers like that, and when I water this, I have another little, it sits in this one as well, and I just put a small amount of water. But if you look at that sphagnum moss now, can you see that sphagnum moss is not dry, so that's not going to get watered yet. And I will give it whatever feed I've got, or whether it's plain water, I will give it something. I let it take it up, but I don't let it actually get saturated. I leave it maybe for a few minutes, let it take some moisture up, and then I take it directly out. and so I won't know which one this is until those two blooms. And I've got another one here. See this one? And this, believe it or not, I had a piece of a cane there, and I laid it on some sphagnum moss, and then I decided to anchor it down on a piece of cork, and last year it gave me this cane. But if you'll notice there, that's a terminal leaf. There's no other leaf coming out. And it gave me this little cane here with one leaf, which is a terminal leaf. And this time it's produced this cane here. And this cane is still growing. And I did have nice roots, but I don't know where the roots have gone. I mean, they're the roots. It started with the roots, and but what I do is see, there's no growing tips on them, which worries me. But all I can do is water it now and again, which I do. I just check if this area is bone dry, and I'll water it when it's bone dry. And hopefully it will eventually come into life again. And I've put it in this pot, which was a little hydro pot, put some stones just round the edge, just to keep this stable. And I've got another one here, which is Dendrobium nobile stardust firebird, and look at this one. This is really, can you see this? This is potted, this is over potted, this shouldn't be in a pot this big. And I'm going to take it down after I've done this video, and I'm going to put it in one of these pots, these. Now that's a little bon mon little pot that I've had a mousse in. I'm going to put holes at the bottom, but you see, that's what it needs, a much smaller pot. And but it's I don't know whether it will survive, I've no idea. And you see this other big one here that I'm showing you now, this I've put on here, Spring Dream Pollen. So this is a well-known one, this one is. And I think at one time I thought of throwing it out, but then I feel guilty, and I think, oh no, don't throw it out. So can you see now where that has had, that leaf, that leaf has caught a droplet of water. But I've got 1, 2, 3, 4 new growths. I've got roots, don't know whether you'll see them in this light. I've got roots that are forming, and this one's in semi-hydro. Now I don't know whether it likes it in semi-hydro, because at the moment it's not showing any new growing tips. So, but these are 10 a penny. I mean, you can pick these up at the supermarket for less than £10, so I'm not particularly worried. But I thought, I've had this since May 17, and so if it doesn't survive, I can always buy another one. Now, most dendrobiums need tight pots, and if you can give them the tightest pot possible, then they'll be much happier. Now this one, I've had from my subscriber Keith, and this is a berry odour. Let me see. And lovely, beautiful blooms. Now this one I'm waiting for signs of new root growth or a new growth, and so far there's nothing. It's that top heavy, this is, and it's in this little tiny pot. I need to see some root growth, you see, can you see down there? And there's nothing yet, so I can't fertilise that yet or do anything. I just bob it in one of these, actually, bob it in there, a little bit of plain water, and it's keeping it alive, but I'm desperate for it to show some signs of a new root growth. And let's look at this one. Keith gave me two. Well, they were in one pot and I've managed to split them. Now here's the other, and I've just noticed this morning, now where was it? Let's have a look. There. Can you see? Just there. There's a little green growing tip. Now that's what I need. That's the indicator to me now that this is starting to wake up. See? You look down there. Again, you see, this is in bark with lava rock in a very tight pot. And I push this down, so it keeps these two canes firm. And I'm hoping, now I've seen that, these will pull through, and I just keep them in these little outer pots here. And I'll just show you a couple more. Now this one here is not an nobile type, but it's just a point of reference, so I've got it on camera. And this is my Dendrobium thissiflorum, and this is it's got the wrong label on, actually. It's got densiflorum, but it's not, it's thissiflorum. And this one I've had since 16, and it, as I say, it's flowered twice, this one has, for me. Leaves aren't brilliant, are they? And I was hoping that this year it might bloom again. Now this one, you see, it's only in a small terracotta pot, but look, it's showing me no signs yet of root growth or any new growths. And I had thought of disturbing it, and then, because I'm terrible, you know, I'll disturb anything. But no, I've left well alone. It still sits on the south-facing bedroom windowsill, and it gets full sun. So I'm waiting to see when that will come out of its winter dormancy. I'm hoping. And this is another Dendrobium, and this is a little one that I keep in a very tiny pot now. And this is Dendrobium hilda-poxon. I've lost my label. It'll be on the floor somewhere, I am sure. I shall have to find that label, because I like to have labels on all my things. And this one, you'll see the mixture is inorganic. It's lava rock, pebbles, and it's doing very, very nicely, this one is. I've wiped the leaves this morning, and I've put that little clip there just to stabilise it, and I'm waiting to see now. See that those roots are hydrated, and it's not until those roots are pale that I water it again. So I'm hopeful for this one this year, but that's You see, that size pot there is only a small size pot, and that's what I've learnt more than anything, is to keep your pot size very small. Don't overpot dendrobiums. Now, you can mount them. This is, let's have a look at this one. I think it's J.O. Candy. This is J.O. Candy, but this is one of those furry caned ones. These are very difficult to grow. These are very difficult to grow, and I don't know why. They have they need to be warm and they need to be hydrated. I've already had one little growth die on me there. That one's surviving. That one there. But this one promptly dropped all its leaves. So, but if you're growing them on a mount, you don't have to be as restrictive. I'll just reach this one down here. This one, you see, this one's Dendrobium chrysotoxum, and this is just coming into life. Got a root there. But they like to feel tight. They don't like an environment where the roots can wander everywhere. They like to be tight in their pots. So this one I anchored down through there with some wire. And these roots, I left all these dried roots here. But if we look underneath, can you see where the newly emerging roots are coming? See? So this one's settled down now. It did have problems at first with these concertinas, the leaves, and it dropped some of these other leaves, but I'm hopeful this time. You see, this one looks a little bit like the Dendrobium thysiflorum in that you see the flowers come from nodes on the side. I've got another one which is giving me 3 new growths, and it's down there on the shelf, so I can't get it, but I'm hopeful that's maybe we'll get a flower inflorescence at some point. I'm not too sure, and I think I've just noticed there, but I don't know whether or not you'll see it. There's a little bulge there. Now I don't know whether that's going to be a new growth. And this one used to sit in the window, directly into the south-facing window, and I've decided that it's too hot there, so I've brought it just slightly back. Anyway, so all I can say is when you're growing dendrobiums, I think if any of you follow Roger's channel, he's an advocate of a small pot. Cram as much as you can into a small pot, and then let those roots develop in that pot. Don't disturb the roots. So this is what I'm trying to do. In fact, if I just reach over here, I've got 2 like this. This one again, this is a Dendrobium. This is Dendrobium famosum, and you'll notice there that, look at all those canes, and every one dropped its leaves. But look, can you see how I reduced that pot size? Look at that. And that's just planted in sphagnum moss. And you see, that's white there. But if you go down here, there's still a little bit of colour. So again, I will not water this until all that sphagnum moss turns this pale colour up here. Well, not until I actually see either new root growth or a new growth developing. Anyway, that's all for this video, and thank you for joining me. It's not a particularly good day today. The sun isn't shining as much as we would like it to, but that's our English springtime weather. So from me to you, take care. Bye-bye now.